Hello, Anthony and other pathetic triathletes. What is up? My name is John Farrell, the officially unofficial swim technique instructor from Team Zoot. I say the unofficial part because I'm not actually on. I do this as a service. Okay, so a little bit about my background in swimming. I was an All-American back in high school. I made the list for 200 freestyle and 100 backstroke. I swam for Brigham Young University for 4 years, earning top 100 honors in the 100 and 200 backstroke events. I finished my career in 2008, and I started triathlons in 2019. And Team Zoot was not kind enough to allow me to be on their affiliate team. So yeah. So currently I rock in swimming, and I'm kind of pathetic in both the bike and the run. So, explanation of what I do here. I've been doing private stroke technique coaching based out of Glendora, California for the past 5 years. By the way, if you're in the area, message me if you want stroke technique lessons. But I have since transferred everything into the virtual arena because I started around when COVID started, just because, there's no pools. So I do this stuff online. Pretty much, if you have any questions whatsoever about swimming, I am always available. Just send me an email. Email's down below. More than welcome to email me and ask any questions you have. If you would like your own stroke technique video review, please send it to me. I do this on a donations basis. It is a pretty much free service. I do ask for donations where if you are able to donate, I can send you a Venmo link and you're able to donate that way. All donations go towards my triathlon training and maybe a milkshake for my kids every once in a while. This does not put food on my table. This is all slush money. Just open about this. So anyway, so let's get on with the video review. So thank you very much for sending your video. So you're telling me that you have shoulder issues. Okay, so shoulder issues in swimming are caused by multiple things. Usually it's either caused by bad technique on the recovery or the pull, or shoulder issues are caused by overexertion. So looking at your video, it is not caused by overexertion. So it's going to be a combination of technique. Okay, there's one other reason too. You simply have weak shoulders. My guess is it's a combination of technique and shoulders. While you do not have horrible technique in terms of recovery and pulling, there's a major tweak to your pull that we can start implementing, as well as some therapy exercises on dry land. Okay. So before we kind of get into this whole pulling, before we specifically talk about your pull, let's talk about pulling in general. Pulling in general in swimming is very different than running or cycling. That is mainly because there is a lot of technique involved in order to be able to grab water. Remember, in swimming, we are in virtually zero gravity. So it is hard for our minds to wrap around exactly what we're doing in the pool. So let's break it down very simply. We're taking water in front of us, and we're pushing it backwards. That's all we're doing. We're grabbing water and pushing it backwards. By doing this, we displace water. We grab a hold on water and we push it backwards. That is why I have a couple of theories that I like to talk about. Number one is treat water like it's a solid. And this is where we're going to get into our first item, which is something known as high elbow catch. Now, or high elbow pull, or high elbow catch. I don't know. I never learned these terms as a swimmer. I swam for over 15 years, and when I started, getting into, learning how to actually teach it for triathletes, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what any of these terms are. I've been doing them, but I have no idea what they are. Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about this high elbow catch. So the idea of the high elbow catch, give me 1 second. Let me take off my crop. Okay. So the idea of the high elbow catch is not when the arm is above the water. Give me 1 second. That I have to get rid of this autofocus here. That is absolutely annoying. Okay, there. Done now. There you go. Okay. So the concept of the high elbow catch is actually during the pulling phase. So there's two parts of the pull. The recovery is when the arm comes back over the water, and then the pull is when the arm is underneath the water, okay? So when we talk about a high elbow, we don't necessarily mean a high elbow here. We're talking about a high elbow down here, okay? So when you pull, and you'll see this in the video in a second, but you do not grab the water very well. You are kind of allowing your elbow, your hand to pull backwards, and you don't really grab that water, okay? So what's happening is when you pull here, you're trying to use your front of your elbow in order to drag back this way, as opposed to getting your arm in front of the water and then pushing that water backwards, okay? So the main difference is in the catch, okay? So let's go back. So let's go to your footage. Nice and large. Okay, so with your footage, I'm gonna hit play here. So you have so your rotation is actually not bad. I would not say that you have a bad rotation, but what's happening though? So your elbow, your hand is in front of your elbow right here, okay? So you see this, we're looking primarily at this angle from here to here, okay? So when you pull, your hand is in front of your elbow, all right? So you're not engaging, oh, wow, hi, I'm right there. Anyway, so you're not engaging with your, did I just flip out? No, I did flip it out. Hold on. There you go. That's better. I was like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Something's not right with my setup. Okay. So when you pull, your hand is in front of your elbow. You actually, when you get to this point, you want that hand to be like about in line with the elbow. So you're going to be forward. It's hard to do it in a chair. I apologize. But you want to try and be a little more forward with your elbow, okay? You want to try and get that hand to where it will be here, okay? Actually, hold on. Okay, so, yep. So you want to try and grab that water just a little bit sooner, and then get some tension in your hand to where you're here, and then try and grip your grip your forearm and use your arm as one whole item. The technique that I was always taught was you got to pretend you're grabbing a barrel and pushing it underneath you. You don't want to grab the water with your hands. You don't want to grab it with your elbow. You want to grab it with your entire arm. Remember, your arm pulls all the way up till about mid-bicep. Okay? You have an effective pulling area all the way up to your mid-bicep. One other thing that I would recommend you do immediately is not breathe every stroke. Not breathe down, breathe down. When you are doing nice, long, steady efforts, you want to go breathe 2, 3, 4. Breathe 2, 3, 4. Because there is a good chance that your shoulder problems might be happening with your left shoulder because you're always breathing to your right. What happens when you breathe every stroke is you create a massive asymmetry problem where your right shoulder is only able to dip so far because of your rotation. But for most beginner swimmers, their hand shoots all the way to the bottom in order to get that rotation. So let's look and see if that's the issue here. The other one shows it a little bit better. Let's get it. Or is the reflection going to kill it? Yep. Right. Okay. And stop. Right there. Okay. So What's happening is your left arm and your right arm are doing very, very different things underneath the water. Your left arm is actually doing what's called cross-body pulling, where you shoot your hand across the center plane of your body, right? So then what happens is your arm right now is fully extended underneath the water. So let me take away the crop and let me show you what this is. So what's going on is your left arm is about here, your right arm is about here. So you are pulling, and this really kind of cranks on your upper shoulder area. All right. So what the concept is in order to get the rotation, beginner swimmers shoot their arm over to the side in order to be able to get that rotation. All right. So you have to imagine there is a imaginary wall down the bottom side of your body, because your recovery is fine. Your right arm's on your right side, your left arm's on your left side. But your left arm shoots over into this area. Okay? It's about right here. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to pull that elbow out so it's catching right about here, so the hand is somewhere underneath your body. Now, if you look at more professional guys, they will say you want about 110 degrees. Right about here, that's optimal. Honestly, for right now, I would just get that arm underneath the body. And the main difference is here, push that elbow. You push that elbow, you're here. All right? So, that very much so might be a cause of your shoulder issues. That very well could be. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information on what your shoulder issue is, but you see right here, your left arm is shooting straight down. So let's head back. Yep. Here, let me see if I can pause it in that spot. And there. Okay. So you see, so what happens is you shoot your left arm down in order to get that rotation. All right? So now, we don't want to do this. We never want to shoot our hands down to the bottom of the pool. This does a couple things. Number one, it initiates what I like to call the half moon pull, where instead, so what we want to do is we want to treat swimming like we treat pull-ups, okay? Because honestly, if you want the best bang for your buck in terms of a dryland workout, get a pull-up bar. Get some pull-up assistance bands for those of you like me who really suck at pull-ups. You can be a great swimmer and be garbage at pull-ups. So what you want to, if possible, you want to do pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, you want to get stretch cords. Stretch cords are wonderful pieces of equipment. They are very cheap. You can buy a good set for about $35-40, and they will set up a very good beginner's weight resistance area. Okay, so you want to have your bands set up really high, and you want to work on grabbing, pushing, and bending those elbows out. All right. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid shooting it down. So let me explain why that's not good. Now, this does a couple of things. Number one, it increases drag. Number two, it recruits very, very weak muscles. All right? So, imagine trying to do pull-ups with straight arms. That's very, very, very hard. We don't like to do that. Only crazy CrossFit athletes do that. And they're nuts. Don't be a CrossFit athlete. They're crazy. I have friends that are CrossFit athletes. I can make that joke. So what we want to do is we want to grab right here and we want to push down, okay? Bend that elbow. So we want to try and literally come in like this, okay? So you grab that water, push down. So we want to push the water down. We don't want to go out here, okay? We don't want to go out in this area, okay? So this is very heavy on the shoulders. Very, very, very heavy on the shoulders, okay? If you grab and push, you're going to recruit your arm muscles a lot more. You're going to recruit your chest a lot more. And it's going to also grab your lower back, your lats, all right? So they always say lat pull downs. Lat pull downs is a great thing if you have access to a weight room. If not, get some stretch cords. You can do the same thing. Obviously, you're not going to use as much weight and resistance. There's some of these, like this one, they got clips, so you can double them up so you can get more resistance on them. So you want to grab water and push it down, all right? So the idea of what you want to do is you simply want to know what direction is up, okay? Because when we swim, we want to grab water that's up and we want to push it down, okay? If you watch me swim, you will see me grab water up top and push, 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 push down. That's the direction. This is up, this is down. When you're swimming, this is up, this is down. So you are grabbing water in the up position and you're pushing it down. So if you want to start working on this on dry land, all you got to do is just stand up. So you stand up, go up, and then push down. Up and then down, all right? So that's how you do it. So so we want to do this for the other reason is reducing drag, because drag is caused by the surface area that we're trying to push through the water. So it's like trying to take a large surface area and push it through the water as opposed to a smaller surface area, okay? So when we pull all the way out here, the surface area is all the way around us. If we bring it here, surface area is much smaller. You have less to push through the water. And then the major muscle recruitment is really, really good too. So a couple things that I would very much so recommend. Number one, focus on not breathing the entire time. The other reason why it's really good to not breathe the entire time is it's going to bring symmetry back to your stroke. Because your shoulder right now, your left shoulder, because you breathe to your right, your left shoulder may be the one that's hurting, and that's because it is doing something radically different than the other shoulder, okay? Because here, let me get you back here. So you see your right shoulder comes straight down. Your left shoulder shoots across the body. So both shoulders are doing extremely different things. So that is a good reason why if you have one shoulder hurting more than the other shoulder, that's a good reason why. The other thing too is your right arm kind of pulls straight down. So we kind of want to get the elbow out, get the hand underneath our body. So what you want to do, just like I said before, put that hand straight up, bend the elbow out as you push the hand down, okay? You see my hand is right next to my eye level. Just push it straight down. I mean, literally, this is wax on, wax off Mr. Miyagi territory. Hand goes up, hand pushes down. The more that you work on the muscle memory on dry land, the easier it is to do it in the water. Because remember, zero gravity, your sense of idea of what the heck am I doing gets completely obliterated. So that's what we want to do, okay? So now let's talk a little bit about how to strengthen shoulders, okay? So like I said before, one of the reasons why your shoulders could be hurting is because you have weak shoulders, all right? So in order to do this, we want to get some resistance bands. Now, this is a 10-pound band. I would recommend the actual, the TheraBands, the ones that are just like a big, long rectangle that looks like a scarf. So what you want to do is 1 time or 2 times a week, you're going to want to take your band, take it down on the floor, okay? All right, okay, so you're going to get your band on the floor, and a step on a portion of the band, and just do this. Okay, you're going to be right here, and up, down. So keep your shoulder that shoulder nice and here and go up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? This will greatly increase your shoulders. Your shoulder rotator cuff. Okay? So right here, gonna do this. Then shoulder raises right here. Okay? So you want very, very, very light resistance. Okay? Then you're going to shift feet. So it's on the other side of the body. So here, up, down. You want very, very light resistance, but you want resistance. Okay? So this is a 10-pound band, and then full extensions up. So you want to do it straight up to the front. Okay? So you want to do 3 sets of about 15 seconds. So start at 3 sets of about 15 seconds, and then graduate 3 sets of 30, 3 sets of a minute. You don't really want to go more than 3 sets of a minute, just because this is more of an assistance exercise. We used to do that at BYU. We did that twice a week. We did that 2 times a week before we went and run, and we had like really thin surgical tubing. So if you can get a resistance of like either a 5-pound band or an 8-pound band or something like that, that's going to be more optimal. Then again, you know, you can go to your local Walmart or pick it up on Amazon for a couple of bucks. Realistically, that in and of itself will do wonders for your shoulders. But I definitely do believe that fixing the technique to where you're grabbing that water here. Okay, this is the catch. So grab that water, have a little bit of stiffness on your hands, and get that hand under your belly and push it all the way backwards. That's going to do your wonders. So one other thing that I highly recommend you look into is buying a swimmer snorkel. All right. So if you go on Amazon, you're looking for something like this. You want to get a swimmer snorkel. I very, very, very highly, insanely recommend these for swimmers that are really wanting to focus on pulling stroke technique. What this does is this does 2 things. Number 1, this really helps your lung capacity because you have a slightly smaller opening that you're breathing through, but you don't have to rotate to the side to breathe. Usually I would pair this with pulling, where I'm using a pull buoy and only focusing on pulling. So this allows you to center your head and really work on the body symmetry while keeping your head absolutely perfectly still. Oh, you know what? I forgot one major thing to discuss, okay? Swimmer snorkels, really, really good. But I forgot to mention the body rotation. I do apologize for that. Okay, so one of the big things that I see with swimmers is, we mentioned this before, your body rotation. When you rotate to your right, this is my right, you shoot that hand down in order to do it. So if we don't rotate that way, how do we rotate? We actually want to rotate by reaching up. Okay? So your rotation is actually not bad. So I would not say, Anthony, that you need to focus on your rotation. We want to focus on how we rotate. All right? So what we want to do is we want to rotate out to the side. So we want to shoot that hand forward, we want to shoot that arm up. As we shoot up, we turn to the side. Okay, you want to keep that head nice and straight down the middle. So we grab here, we push down, and as we reach up, then we go to the side. All right, so you're here and you're here. Okay, so it's the difference is here and here. Okay, you see how I rotate by reaching forward. Okay, so my other arm is here. We're going to swim, and then we're going to be here. All right, so this is obviously a very exaggerated form, but we want to be here, pull here, pull here, pull here. Okay, So work on learning how to reach forward and rotate by reaching forward as opposed to reaching down. Okay? Remember, this direction is up, reach forward as opposed to reaching forward. Okay? So, with those things, that should help your shoulder thing. This will the shoulder strengthening plus fixing the technique. This isn't going to be an overnight success story. It will probably take about 2 to 3 weeks in order to kind of fix all these issues. Okay, so that's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for posting your video and allowing me to be able to do the swim review for you. Remember, any questions whatsoever, send me an email. You're more than welcome to email me. I am open to anyone and everyone. So remember, until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris, wherever you are. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for the swim footage. I hope this really helps you. Have a good night, everyone. Good night.